world. Our first story continues to be an update on the heartbreaking incident that took place in Odisha, the three-train collision that led to the loss of more than 230 lives on Friday night. Now, you might remember that the Railway Board had recommended that the investigation into the incident be handed over to the CBI. Central Bureau of Investigation teams are, as we speaking, arriving at the Odisha crash site. On your screens right now, you can see those visuals. The individual in pink is reportedly a CBI official who has arrived on the site itself to conduct that investigation. Remember, while the cause of the incident itself that played out on Friday has to some degree already been recognized. So sources say that it could have been that a possible last-minute fix is what led to the accident. Essentially, that boom replacement work was carried out on a section, and that's what could have led to that problem in interlocking. So they have identified the technical cause, but the CBI investigation is reportedly to investigate whether or not that intervention was done deliberately with malintention or by mistake. That's why the CBI has gotten involved. Now, you'll remember opposition parties like the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee have criticized the involvement of the CBI. They've said that typically the CBI's involvement does not yield quick solutions. My colleague Kamalika is with us right now to bring us more context. Kamalika, tell us more about what it is that the CBI is on the ground to identify. Tell us, for example, who the perpetrators are. Some sources said that the Railway Board had already identified who the individuals responsible were, but the CBI was investigating the cause. Is that correct, or is there more complexity there?
See, CBI will go for a, as I was pointing out, whether there was a malified human intervention or not. That is the question which CBI has to find that answer. That was it a human error? Or whether the human intervention was there with a malified intention. If it's a malified intention, then that's a criminal act. And then that will be investigated in separate way. So that's why CBI today coming and CBI's investigation becomes very important as well as the criminal part of the case is concerned. If it's a negligence, if it's a human error, then that is looked after by the, obviously the railway security, the chairman of railway security team who is there doing the investigation. But whether this was done with some malified intention or not, that is to be seen. That they have to find.
Okay. Kamalika, I do want to ask you right now, what is the size of the CBI team that has arrived on the ground? Can you bring our audiences more details about who the individuals are from the CBI?
3-4 obviously officials are there, and higher officials will also be there, and they have taken the initial briefing from that, and they are in the ground and they are trying to get more details about what it is, and then obviously they'll go for further investigation.
Okay, all right, Kamalika, if I can actually ask you to stay with us, we're now going to share with our audiences some of the theories around what led to the accident on Friday. Behind me over here, the footage that you're looking at right now are visuals from the accident site on Friday night. But let's take a quick look at the possible different theories involved. Theory one, of course, and this is the theory that we were talking about right now. This is currently what experts believe could be the main theory, that a hurried shortcut repair work process led to this happening. This was possibly a shortcut that was used by people on the ground to avoid possibly having to delay both of the trains, the Coromandel Express and the other train. So we're not talking, of course, about the goods train. Now, that is theory number one. The theory is that staff who were fixing the malfunctioning boom barrier didn't do a thorough enough job. It was essentially a shortcut job on the location box. Now, that's theory number one. And this hurried job possibly disturbing the interlocking system, that's the possible theory. Now, theory number two, the one that we told you about, also is being investigated, is this question of whether or not sabotage was involved. So what intention were those who were fixing this system on the ground working with? That's where the CBI comes in. This is where the Railway Board has said they do require the CBI to step in to identify if that fail-safe system was tinkered with. Were those who were tinkering with it doing so deliberately or not? Because there is a hint of interference within the electronic system. So the lens is on the coincidence of the time of the accident. And what it's particularly important to understand over here is that the security in the relay room, remember, is where all of these decisions are made. The security of the relay room, whether or not there were CCTV cameras that can tell us more about what happened, all of that is under the scanner. Now, theory number 3, and this is also particularly important. Theory number 3 is whether or not there was a flaw in the system. So what are the chances that there was a system issue here? And if so, who would be persecuted? This is question number 3. Now, remember, right after this incident came to light, we were able to share with you that a similar incident was averted back in February in Karnataka. In that incident, officials involved in the ground had alerted Railway Ministry members, Railway Board members, that there were possible problems in the signalling system involved in trains across the country. They'd alerted that it could lead to larger problems. Why were those problems not addressed? That would remain the larger question here. So these are the 3 theories. My colleague Akash is with us now on the phone to bring us more details about this entire story. Let's go over to Akash right now to understand. Akash, we've been telling our audiences that one of the most prominent theories is that a possible quick fix was used on the ground by workers, and that quick fix was perhaps not successful. That's what possibly led to this accident. But then there is also the possibility still that it was a systems failure. Can you tell us more about how the CBI can ascertain this, especially because the CBI, we know, is already looking to identify what the intention of the people on the ground was. But how can they identify this more technical aspect, Akash?
Right. Toya, first of all, it is important to mention here that other than CBI, yes, the particular case has been recommended to CBI. In fact, CBI has, started its investigation. But other than CBI, CRS is also inquiring the case. CRS is the top key officers in railways and is generally, responsible for, giving a fitment certificate to the track, giving a fitment certificate for the speed regularization of new rakes, new trains. So he is the top officer who is actually leading an inquiry, an investigation. Now, sources are saying that since, CBI will be investigating the whole matter, either they'll take the technical support from railways or they'll, take this particular report from CRS as the base of the inquiry, base of the investigation. But again, as we still don't know as to what was the main reason, because you see, some are saying that the construction work, the repair work that in fact you are talking about, and in fact we informed our viewers in the morning that a boom replacement work was carried out on the particular section, and this can be the real reason that because of that particular work, some sort of interference was there in the signaling, because a boom is also connected to a signal system. So boom is basically, a level crossing. You can consider boom is basically a barrier that is generally used at level crossing. And this boom is generally connected to signaling system. So it is possible that, some sort of interference was done in order to replace the boom. And in that process, something else happened, and the point was set to the another direction. And in fact, the panel was not showing any error. Now, the point and the argument is that if it has happened, whether or not it was intentional, and this is the reason why everyone is stressing on CBI investigation now, because CBI will let us know as to if there was some sort of conspiracy behind this, if it was some sort of intention, some sort of specific mindset, or if it was a mistake. Now, there are several questions that need to be answered, but we have a number of departments of railways involved. We have S&T involved in it. We have, of course, the station staff involved in it. We have the civil department involved in it, and a number of departments. Now,